think I would also like to request you to say that digital divide is an important component, important aspect at this moment. Even in United States, many people don't have access of high-speed internet. So at this moment, how schools are coping up with this problem? Do they really have this kind of problem, or if yes, then how they are coping up with this problem?
Well, generally, this problem exists in the United States just like it does in other countries. That even though it appears to be an affluent country, there are many people in this country who live in poverty. We just hide it in this country, is the way I look at it. However, it seems to me that most young people either have a cell phone or access to a cell phone.
Yes.
And so anything we do virtually in the school setting needs to be accessible by the use of a cell phone.
Right.
And it's just like we provide Chromebooks for our students here in the United States to do their schoolwork, I think in the virtual world, we ought to make sure that every student has a cell phone. And if the school needs to provide the cell phone to the student, then let's provide it. I think it's a necessary tool. Not every student needs a computer at home with high-speed internet access. If they have a cell phone, there are platforms that will allow them to participate. And that's what I think we ought to be looking at, so that all students can take advantage of this virtual world.
Thank you, Dr. Tom. Dr. Tom, your trainings are very relevant. Actually, you train teachers, as you say that you teach the teachers, and you conduct a lot of capacity building workshops for the teachers. Uh, but you're obviously, your training is limited within a geographical area, within a location specific. But now at this time, when you are conducting everything virtual, do you think that you are able to connect the people, the teachers from the other part of the world?
Oh, absolutely. And we're wanting to do that all the time, is train people in other countries to take our work to other countries. Right now, we're working with 3 people to translate all our work into Spanish, so that our work can be brought to Mexico and the Central American countries. And we have one of our new facilitators from Colombia who will be bringing the work to South America. So yes, there's a necessity to bring it. We also have had inquiry about bringing the work to Asia. So we're very interested in that. That's more long-term, because we're concentrating on the Spanish-speaking countries right now. But yes, we definitely want to build our capacity all over the world.
Thank you, Dr. Tom. Would you like to see something? Because, your whole study, your practice, your experience of working with the schools, with the teachers, uh, you know, have a lot of in-depth understanding. So at this time, when not only our kids, I think parents are also very insecure. So at this time, would you like to see something? What is your one-liner?
Well, I think the parents need to understand that we need to provide space for them to have their voices heard about the trauma that they're undergoing at this time, and listen to them. I interview parents when I work in schools every year, and so that I can find out what their wants and what their needs are for their children in school. It's very important that we do that with the parents.
Thank you, Dr. Tom. I think it's very important that this video gives people better understanding about your work, and I think it is more important to connect more and more people, more and more teachers, probably the Asian countries also.
Well, that's our hope, is to reach as many teachers as possible. we created a blog on Google Groups just for that purpose, so that we could connect teachers all over the world in a conversation about this work. People could ask questions, they could share materials, we can share materials with them, so that we can create an international conversation with educators throughout the world.
Thank you, Dr. Tom. Thank you. Thanks a lot for giving your time. And I think I would love to speak more and more with you.
Well, you know, Adity, I enjoy our friendship. I enjoy the fact that we got to meet each other in person before this all happened.
Yes,
Actually, just before it happened in the month of January.
yes.
Little did we know that this virus was coming down the road, but we had a lovely time in Long Island, and even got to go to spend a day in New York City, a lovely day in January. And
Yes.
it wasn't even cold, which is amazing in January. And I really, really treasure the time that I had with you, and got to know you personally. You and I have been communicating for months, and I've really enjoyed it. But meeting you in person made all the difference, because there's a certain aura between people when they meet in person that you can't get virtually. But if you've met each other personally and developed that I call it aura between people, then when you meet virtually, you can envision that aura and recapture that in your heart. And so, thank you very much for your friendship. It means a lot to me.
Thank you, Dr. Tom. I think for me also, it's a lifetime experience working with you. I being a teacher, I'm very passionate about my profession, and when I saw the schools, I think my understanding about the schools is completely changed after working with you, and I think uh, it's a great experience. I would love to say that you are a great person,